Hi everybody, welcome to Acupressure Wednesday. I'm Alexa Halsey from Encircle Acupuncture in Nashville. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's an interesting day. Today is the day after the election. We don't know the outcome yet, and people are feeling anxious and stressed. And so today's session, we're just going to do some acupressure for staying calm in times of uncertainty. And we're just going to relieve some anxiety and work on staying centered and grounded. So thanks for joining us. I'm really glad you're here. I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope everybody got some sleep last night. It's a new day and we're here. We're going to do some acupressure and we're going to feel better afterwards. So thanks for joining. So as we know, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot that we cannot control, but we can control where our attention goes. And when we are intentional about where our attention goes, then we control our chi flow in our bodies. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to just concentrate on what's happening in our bodies, bringing our attention to some areas that need it, and getting our chi to flow. And we're going to feel better afterwards. Today's practice is really going to be about clearing out mental clutter. We're going to work on protecting our emotions, and we're going to work on centering in our core and staying rooted to the earth and staying grounded. That's going to help us to feel stable and not feel so just knocked around by everything that's happening around us that's not under our control. So we're just going to work on ourselves. So we're going to start like we always do with a few exercises to just get our chi flowing and to get us aware of how we're feeling. So first we're going to take a few breaths and just quietly tune in to our body. So I want you to just sit comfortably, have your feet on the floor, and I have to scoot up, I'm on a stool, so just sit with your feet comfortably on the floor. Your back, you can have your back supported if you like, or you can sit on the edge of your chair, just a relaxed back, and just breathe comfortably. You can take deep breaths if you like. You don't have to force anything. Just breathe comfortably. And you can close your eyes if you like, or you can leave them open, whatever's comfortable. And let's just take some breaths together. And while you're doing that, I want you to check in with your body and see how you're feeling. What is your body telling you? I'm going to close my eyes and take a couple of breaths. And just be aware of any areas, maybe of muscle tension, maybe something doesn't feel so good, maybe you've got tingling in some area, maybe you feel hot or cold. Just take note of that, because we're going to check in again at the end of this session and see if anything has changed. I'm feeling okay. I got a little tension sort of across my mid-back, back in here. My throat feels a little, I don't even want to say scratchy, it just feels a little tired. But mostly I got some tension in my mid-back, so I'll check in with that at the end of this session and see how I'm feeling. Okay, so now we're going to do a gathering exercise, and we're going to gather in some chi from our environment and bring it in to our bodies. It's normal to feel a little depleted, to feel a little tired when you're going through a time of stress. Maybe you stayed up late last night watching the news and didn't get a lot of sleep. So if you're feeling tired today, we're going to gather in some chi from our environment. If you're feeling just a little stuck, this is going to help that too. So you can either stand or sit doing this. I'm going to stand. And you want your feet planted on the floor about hip width apart. And if you're standing, make sure there's a little bend in your knees. We don't want anybody locking their knees. Spine neutral. Relax your shoulders. Okay, my shoulders are tight today too. Okay, and then we're going to inhale and raise our arms overhead. And then we're going to exhale and turn our palms down. And then bring our palms to rest on our lower abdomen. And we'll talk a little later about why we're doing this and directing our palms to our lower abdomen. And just leave them to rest there. As you're inhaling, think about gathering in chi from your environment. And then as you exhale and lower, you're bringing that chi to your core to rest inside of your body. So lots of chi around us always. There's plenty in the universe. So gather in as much as you need. And bring it to rest in your lower abdomen. Let's do that a couple more times. You can even take a breath or two with your hands on your lower abdomen. That's fine. I'm going to take one more breath, gathering in lots of chi. And lowering. All right. Okay. Maybe your belly feels nice and warm after you've gathered some chi. That's good. And then the last preparation exercise that we're going to do, we're just going to rub our palms together. All that chi that we gathered, we now want to think about directing from our core and into our hands, because we're going to be using our hands for our acupressure session today. So rub them together good. Get them nice and warm, nice and tingly. All right. Your hands, your palms will probably change colors a little bit. Your skin might become darker. My skin has become more red, especially here on the tips of my fingers and around here. So that's good. That means lots of chi in my palms. Okay. So again, welcome. This is Acupressure Wednesday. And today we're doing some acupressure for staying calm in times of uncertainty. And today is one of those days. So we're going to help you get through it. Okay, so like I said, today's practice is going to be about clearing out mental clutter, protecting our emotions, staying centered in our core and in our bodies, and grounding into the earth. And so the first point that we're going to talk about today is a point on the palm. This is on the pericardium channel. It's pericardium 8. And this point is called Lao Gong, which means Palace of Toil. And I'll talk more about the name of the point in a little bit. So the way that you locate Lao Gong, it's really just right in the center of the palm. It is, it's defined as where the tip of your middle finger rests when you make a loose fist. So make a loose fist, and right there is Lao Gong. And you can kind of feel it when you hit that bullseye spot on Lao Gong. It just feels like the right spot. So let's start. Let's just rub Lao Gong here for a minute on each side. And just massage that center of your palm a little bit. It should feel good. Our hands do so much work. So give your hands a little love. And then we just rubbed our hands together, but let's do it again. Really vigorously rub your hands together. Like really get some heat worked up there in between your hands. You should feel nice and warm. And then we're just going to kind of play with the energy, with the chi flowing through these points. So I want you to have your palms facing each other. And just concentrate on that Lao Gong point on each palm. And just try to feel the energy flowing between those 2 points on each palm. And just see if you can feel energy flowing. And you can play around with a little bit, like move your hands closer together, spread your hands further apart. See if that feels any different, moving your hands. Feels to me, when I do this, it almost feels like there's this invisible cord connecting those 2 points. It's very flexible, and but I feel it. It almost feels like it has the consistency of bubble gum stretching between these 2 points. So here's why Lao Gong is important. Like I said, this is a point on the pericardium channel. And the role of the pericardium in traditional Chinese medicine is to protect the heart. And anatomically, that is what the pericardium does. You've got your heart, and then the pericardium is this protective sac around the heart. And so energetically, it does the same thing. Now, the heart is considered the monarch of all of the organs in traditional Chinese medicine. And the reason for that is the heart is where the Shen is housed. And the Shen is our total spiritual, emotional, psychological aspect. That's the Shen in Chinese medicine. And the Shen is housed in the heart. So the heart is the most important of all of the organs because of its role in housing and providing a home for our Shen, for our emotional self, our spiritual self. So the pericardium has a role of protecting the heart, which protects the Shen. I mean, that's how important the emotions are in traditional Chinese medicine. There's these layers of protection surrounding the emotions. So points on the pericardium channel, they help to protect the Shen by protecting the heart. And in times of uncertainty, in times of stress, it's very important to protect our emotional, spiritual aspect. We want to preserve that as best we can. This point, pericardium 8, Lao Gong, it does that by clearing excess heat away from the heart. So when we have outside stressors, and we have anxiety, that causes a lot of heat to accumulate, and heat can damage the heart and affect the Shen. The pericardium clears that heat out, and that's how it protects the heart. This point, Lao Gong, is traditionally considered what we call a ghost point in traditional Chinese medicine. And ghost points were used for severe emotional disorders. They were classically indicated for things like mania, severe mania, and epilepsy, because they have this strong action to clear heat and protect the emotions. So the name Lao Gong means palace of toil. And that's a reference to all of the hard work that our hands do. Our hands toil all day, whether we're toiling in the fields or toiling away at our computers. Our hands are doing that work. So the name is a reference to that, but it is also a reference to the task of the pericardium in protecting the heart, which is the monarch, and the monarch resides in a palace. So Lao Gong is the palace of toil. This is a really important point in the practice of Qigong. So if you've ever done Qigong or Tai Chi, you're probably already very familiar with this point. In Qigong practice, we're always directing our energy through this point, Lao Gong. It's where we focus our energy to move Qi. So we're not doing Qigong today, we're doing acupressure, but we're still going to use this point in directing Qi movement throughout the body. So that is pericardium 8, Lao Gong. Okay, so next point we're going to do is do 20, and this is located on the midline of the body at the very top of the head. You can just feel around on top of your head to find the point. You can usually feel it when you find the right point. The way that you can also find this is that you fold your ear forward, and the very tip of your ear points towards do 20. So it's just there on the very tippy top of your head. This point you can massage in slow circles, or let's try using Lao Gong. So just place your hand, your palm over that point, do 20. You can do 1 or 2, that's fine. And just imagine qi flowing through that Lao Gong point into do 20 and then down the rest of the body. So do 20 is an important point because this is where all the yang channels in the body meet up on top of the head, and it regulates the up and downward flow of qi in the body. So in times of stress and uncertainty, we're up in our heads a lot. We're overthinking and over worrying, and we need to get all of that out of our heads. And so you can imagine qi flowing through Lao Gong, do 20, and then down to the extremities through all of the yang channels. And you can even just visualize that, like water flowing down through Lao Gong, through do 20, and just down through your extremities. So you can use this Lao Gong point, like I said, or you can massage in circles. But just imagine while you're doing that, all of the excess clearing out of your head. Anything up there that you don't need, any excess worry, any speculating. We don't know what the outcome is going to be many times in life, and not just in an election. So all of that, all of those what ifs, all of that worrying and speculating that we don't have any control over, imagine that just flowing down out of the head. We need to get it out of our heads. We don't need it there. Our heads, we need our brains for other important things. So that's do 20. One of my favorite points. If you come see me for acupuncture, you're probably going to get a needle in this point. All right. Next point we're going to do is also on the midline of the body. This is on the Ren channel, and this is Ren 17. So the Ren channel flows up the front of the body, and the Du channel flows up the back midline of the body. So Ren 17 is located right in the center of the chest, and in fact the point name is Shenjiang, which means chest center. And it is located in the 4th intercostal space, and so the intercostal spaces are just the spaces between your ribs. And you can feel on your chest, you can feel these spaces. So your first intercostal space is here. You're just going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's way down here in the center of your sternum. And you can massage this point through your clothes. That's totally fine. If you're not sure where it is, just kind of tap and feel. Feel for a spot that feels, again, this is one of those points that kind of feels like a bullseye when you hit it. It's like, oh yeah, that's the right point. You're going to maybe feel some tenderness there, or maybe you feel some energy flowing through the rest of your chest. But again, you can count the ribs, 1, 2, the intercostal spaces between the ribs, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's right here. So you can try a couple of different things. You can massage this point in circles. We do that a lot with acupressure in general. Or let's try using Lao Gong like we did for Do 20 and just press on that point on the center of your chest and imagine qi flowing through Lao Gong and into that point on the center of your chest, Ren 17. Now, Ren 17 is what we call a mu point, and mu points are all located on the front of the body. So sometimes we call them front mu points, and this is where the qi of a specific organ will gather and concentrate. So each organ has a front mu point, And Ren 17 is the front mu point of the pericardium. So, as we know now, that the pericardium protects the heart, which is the monarch, and it houses the Shen, our emotional center. So this is a great point for anything related to the emotions, because it's going to protect our emotions. And this point helps to fortify the pericardium in that role. It feels really good to just take some deep breaths there and imagine qi flowing through Lao Gong, through Ren 17. This is also what we call a sea of qi point. So it's a place where qi gathers and where you can regulate qi flow through a region of the body. And so this is the sea of qi point for the chest. And so this point, Ren 17, regulates the flow of qi throughout the chest. So if you're feeling stuck in your chest, if you're feeling some tightness, if you're having difficulty breathing, or if you can't take a deep breath, this is a great point to focus your intention and your attention on. And again, you can rub in circles or use Lao Gong. So that's Ren 17. Now we're going to do another point on the Ren channel, which is Ren 4. Ren 4 is located on your lower abdomen. So the way that you locate Ren 4, I'm going to stand up and maybe you can see a little better. You're going to find your belly button. So for me, that's right here. And you're going to measure with about the width of your 4 fingers down from your belly button. And right about there, so here's my belly button, here's my 4 fingers, and then right about here is Ren 4. So it's on your lower abdomen. You can do this through your clothes, that's totally fine. So again, let's try some different techniques. You can rub in circles, or let's use Lao Gong again. And press Lao Gong at this point, and imagine qi flowing through Lao Gong in our palm into this point at Ren 4. Now, Ren 4 is one of the most important points on the body. And Ren 4 is the home of what we call the lower dantian. And the lower dantian, it really is this whole region between the belly button and Ren 4. So this sort of lower abdominal region. And the lower dantian is really the residence of our deepest reserves of energy in the whole body. So if you need to tap into your body on a deep level and connect with your body on a deep level, Ren 4 is where you go for that. And again, press in circles, breathe through Lao Gong. Ren 4 also strongly tonifies and nourishes the kidneys. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys are the root of our constitutional strength. We call this our pre-heaven essence in traditional Chinese medicine. And this is what we are born with. We come into the world with a certain amount of pre-heaven essence. It's our genetic makeup, basically. And that pre-heaven essence is stored in the kidneys. And this point, Ren 4, strongly tonifies the kidneys. And so it helps the kidneys to protect that pre-heaven essence so that we don't deplete it. And so I hope you're sensing a theme here. Really, today is all about protecting what is precious in our bodies. And actually, we call this the three treasures. Jing, which is our essence, Qi, which flows all around us, and Shen, which we've talked about is the center of our emotions. So today we are protecting those 3 treasures, okay? This point, Ren 4, just really tonifies all aspects of the body, the qi, the blood, the yin, the yang, all of the organs. Ren 4 strengthens you on a very deep level and helps you to not have to tap into your reserves. So Ren 4 is also a great point because Ren 4 connects with both the Ren and the Du channels. So let me talk about these 2 channels for a second. Most of the channels that we use in acupuncture are bilateral channels that go to the extremities. The ren and the du are different. They are considered extraordinary vessels, and they are the only channels that flow along the midline of the body. So the ren channel, this is sometimes called the conception vessel, flows up the front midline of the body. And so it includes ren 4 and ren 17, which we did earlier. And then the du channel, which is sometimes called the governing vessel, flows up the back midline of the body. And that includes du 20, which we did earlier. Both of these channels connect inside the mouth, and they both originate in the lower dantian at ren 4. And so when we're stimulating ren 4, we're helping, and so these two channels, the ren and the du, they complete a circuit, starting in the lower dantian, ending in the mouth. And so stimulating ren 4 helps to gather qi into the lower dantian, and it helps to move qi through that circuit. So when we do this, it has a very centering and stabilizing effect. It really gets you centered into the midline of your body and helps you focus really just on what's most important in your body. And it helps you to be very centered and stabilized here within your core, within your deepest reserves in the lower dantian. Okay, so that's ren 4. And then finally, we're going to end with kidney 1. And kidney 1 is on the sole of the foot. So instead of holding my foot up to the camera, I have a diagram. So kidney 1 is on sole of the foot. And here it is on the diagram. If you bisect the foot this way, it's right in the middle. And then between the toes and the heel, you can divide it into thirds. And it's right here at this upper third. But really the easiest way to find kidney 1 is to look for this area, this fleshy area at the ball of the foot. And then if you go a little bit towards the heel, there's going to be a depression right here. That's kidney 1. So kidney 1 is the lowest point on the body, and it connects directly with the earth. It's the only point that does that. So I'm going to massage kidney 1 while we're talking. And you can massage kidney 1 in any number of ways. I like to rub it in circles. You can also, like we've been doing, use Lao Gong and connect Lao Gong to kidney 1. See how that feels. You can also, if you have a ball, like something about the size of a ping pong ball, you can roll that around. Roll your foot around on that to stimulate kidney 1. I even like to, when I'm going to sleep, I rub my feet together and stimulate kidney 1 on one foot by using the other foot. And actually, I've done this for as long as I can remember when I'm going to sleep at night. And I never knew why until I went to acupuncture school and I learned about kidney 1. And I was like, oh, that's why I do it. I was stimulating that point without even knowing it. So I'm just going to rub it in some circles right now while we're talking. So yes, kidney 1 on the sole of the foot, and it connects directly to the earth. So when we sit with kidney 1, with our feet flat on the floor, kidney 1 is connecting us to the earth. And so we can imagine roots growing through kidney 1 and into the earth. That's going to help us to feel more grounded. So kidney 1 is being the only point on the sole of the foot. It has a very yin energy because yin is descending, yang is ascending. So it's very yin energy. And so when we stimulate kidney 1, it floods the body with yin energy. And that helps to root the yang. It helps the yang descend. And so when you're up in your head, when you're restless, when you can't turn your brain off, kidney 1 is your point. It's going to help bring all of that excess yang energy, all of that mental clutter out of your head and help your body root into the earth. And then you can draw up strength from the earth through kidney 1. So it sends excess energy down and then it pulls up yin energy that helps you. So Kidney 1 is also a very important point in the practice of Qigong. So if you do Qigong, you're familiar with Kidney 1. And it helps to root the Qi in this lower Dantian, like we talked about earlier. And it helps to bring up energy through the earth. So a good practice to do when you don't have time for much else is just sit with both feet flat on the floor and imagine those roots growing down through Kidney 1. And just like roots on a tree, roots help keep a tree stable. So they create stability by spreading out. They also draw up nourishment through the earth, and that's what Kidney 1 does for us too. And after you've massaged it, it feels nice and tingly. And it helps us to, again, just stay out of our heads and focus internally. So, to review what we've talked about today, Lao Gong, located in the center of the palm, that helps to protect the heart, which is the monarch, and houses the Shen. Du 20, located here on the top of the head, that helps to descend excess yang energy out of the head. So if you're feeling up in your head, this is a good point to do. Ren 17, here in the center of the chest, that helps to disperse qi throughout the chest, helps with breathing. This is also the mu point of the pericardium, so this is also going to protect the heart and the shen and the emotions, protect the monarch. Ren 4 is our lower dantian point, and it's going to really help us to feel strongly centered because it's going to help connect that circuit of these Ren and Du channels on the midline. And it's where our deepest reserves of energy reside. And then finally, Kidney 1 on the sole of the foot is going to help us feel nice and grounded. So I hope that that information is helpful in just easing anxiety right now and staying calm. We're going to end with just taking some deep breaths and checking in with our bodies and seeing how we feel. So just take a comfortable seat, feet flat on the floor. And now that you know about Kidney 1, you can really visualize those roots coming down through Kidney 1 to connect with the earth, both to create stability and to draw up nourishment. So really visualize those roots and just take some comfortable breaths and see what your body's telling you. I'm going to close my eyes for a second. See if anything feels different. I can definitely feel Lao Gong and Kidney 1. And I feel a little lighter in my chest. I didn't realize I was even holding some tension in there, but I was. So that feels better. And overall, I feel a little more calm, and I hope that you do too. So thanks so much for joining us today. If you have questions or suggestions for future Acupressure Wednesdays, please just type those in the comments. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope you feel better. Tea and Tantrums, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you all. And remember, we can't control everything, but we can control what's happening in our bodies. And so I just encourage you during uncertain times like these to just stay focused on where your body is and the chi flow in your body. It'll help you feel a lot better. So thanks so much for joining, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye.